Yo, who's joining the game? Xbox Live Party.
Am I in your game?
Oh, we don't want you in
Alright, let me reset my Black Ops again.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Between its first foray at advanced mobility and one of the most disliked reveal entries of its time, this game is undoubtedly the best one from that jetpack era. I never thought I would go back to it after all these years later, only to be hit with flashbacks to remind me why this game was such a blast with my brothers.
That's why your mother went 0 and 42 just now.
That's why your mother takes a shower with a flat jacket outfit on.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, he called him. Penny, don't go. Oh!
Kenny missed some that shit.
Yo, chill! Get in!
Oh, I ran out of bullets.
Yo, fucked up! Y'all fucked up!
I'm out of here.
Yo, the window! Yo! Oh, come on.
Oh.
I couldn't buy it because somebody was out of the way.
Come back!
I got no bullets.
I was gonna buy it, but somebody was blocking the way. What a travesty.
Yeah, I was gonna buy it, but that shit just revived.
Yeah, exactly.
Given that I spent the rest of my time casually grinding on the multiplayer and zombies, it comes as no surprise that hunting for the achievements was not on my to-do list. During its heydays, I obtained only 32, 66 of which I didn't care for. Back then, the only Call of Duty games that I managed to earn all of them were COD 4 and World at War, the latter of which catapulted my interest towards the franchise ever since. Every iteration, from the OG Modern Warfare up until World War II, were all played on the Xbox, with Infinite Warfare being the only exception. So with Black Ops 3 being the most documented part of my COD gaming experience, coupled with the entertainment value that my brothers provided over the years, made this event seem somewhat inevitable. Which brings me to the year.
What map we're playing?
Kino, Shadows.
Should I buy the cop points or no? I don't know what to spend it on.
Ish. Perception.
Oh, you could buy the giant map. It's only $5.
Yeah, it is only $5, yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I could buy it real quick, but I don't know if it'll download quick. I mean, it should download quick.
It's only a 1 gig.
In the end, the map we wound up playing was Kinder der Toten. As expected, the nostalgia kicked in. But just when I was having fun,
Ammo crates. And you can just buy ammo.
that's where it hit me. How ironically fitting for my first trophy. So the question is, do I ignore my progress by not taking it seriously like before? Or will I give it another chance by seizing the momentum once and for all? My decision was clear. It's about time that I locked in and attend to Platinum, Call of Duty, Black Ops 3. Since I never beat the campaign back in the day, what better way to give it another shot than to play it with my brothers this time around? As such, I set it to realistic, a difficulty that is not only one of the most ruthless editions that I've ever played in Call of Duty history, but little did I know, will also be one of the many vital components in attaining one of the most grindiest trophies that I ever covered in my gaming experience by far, and that was just the beginning. Let me just go ahead and say that I could not comprehend what this story is about. However, what I can say is that conceptually, it boasts a unique premise that should have left a lasting impression. The idea that you, the player, are being augmented by a technology that can control and experience the memories of others, while your character in real life is in a coma-like state as the events you face leading up unfold in real time, sounds trippy, yet intriguing as fuck. The problem here is that it is heavily bogged down by a convoluted narrative, where each segment feels disjointed than the last, and characters that you can't get invested in because of their unclear motives. The fact that it barely has any ties to the first two games with practically nothing to latch onto, you can bet that it will leave you feeling bored, confused, and disappointed. And that is a shame. As we begin the first mission, all we knew was to play with coordination because one hit, you're down. And it was during these early firefights that I earned my second trophy by killing one of the enemies through a wall or obstruction. Later on, we encountered these robots where we had to hold them off so that an entrance beside us can open up. It was annoying, but at least when we died the second time, I popped my third trophy for stunning 5 of them in 3 seconds.
We need that door open now! Give us some cover fire! Get inside! Go, go, go!
And just roughly 2 minutes later, after making it to safety, I got my 4th trophy for discovering all the collectibles in any mission. Once we got near the end, that's when things started to ramp up a bit.
Oh! Crawl! I'm crawling. Yes. Oh my god, they're gonna kill me if I stay here. Oh, there's a bot coming this way. No! I gotta pick up Kenny.
You got me.
Minister almost secure.
No, what the fuck?
No! What is going on? Oh no!
Despite that, luckily for us, we pulled through.
Secure! Get your ass over here now! Get your ass over here now! Move! No, wait!
Move. Evac window is negative. Airspace is compromised.
No!
Finally.
Disavow. Nice.
I can't continue, boys. I can't.
And you know what? I don't blame him because based on the difficulty alone, this campaign was proving to become a nightmare than it already is. So the following day we went back to Zombies and played Ascension to, reminisce those good times. Earlier during this playthrough though, I did earn the only 2 trophies that this map has. The first one was by round 11 for the Eagles Have Landers, where I had to escape on all 3 of them.
The Eagles have landers.
Then, 14 rounds later, as the monkeys were coming, I set a fire trap off to burn one of them.
I actually need the free perk this time.
Chimps on the Barbie.
Chimp on the Barbie? What is that?
That's a trophy.
2 days later, we went back to the campaign to do the second level. Unlike the first mission, this one acts like a tutorial in getting to learn your new advanced abilities, and combined with having a full squad, makes breezing through this mission much more steady.
Oh, you can hack those.
Yeah, you can, yeah. Remember, you're in the future?
Future.
Grab him, New Blood.
He says grab it.
He just called me New Blood?
Yeah. Oh, somebody else.
Unlike last time, however, we didn't have much trouble near the end, but still, I knew that this was barely scratching the surface.
Hey, second chance.
That's it for me.
That's it
for me.
Since my brothers were getting off, I decided to jump straight ahead into the multiplayer, and unfortunately, because this game came out before the franchise had crossplay integration, all my progress from the Xbox One would not carry over, leaving me no choice but to start from scratch. Thankfully, there are only 4 trophies, and although they were fairly straightforward, it wasn't smooth sailing. Inevitably, finding the match was complicated. Sometimes it took long, I would run into a hacker or 2, and I was pretty much stuck playing team deathmatch throughout. So with that being said, for my first one, I needed to reach level 10, reminding me that I was just getting started. Then, after just a few more matches, I was able to use my specialist ability at the right opportunity, where I had to get 3 or more rapid kills for the deadly specialist, and it felt so satisfying.
Hostile server. Hostile health overhead. Enforcer kill.
Talon on standby.
That was nice.
From there, I decided to take a little break and play Zombies by myself with the map that started it all. Just don't let any of them into the building for the first 3 rounds, and...
There you go. I said we're closed.
Surprisingly, despite naturally grinding my way up to Master Prestige on the Xbox One, I've never earned the Tactical Specialist achievement somehow. Essentially, you need 5 metal kills using a specialist ability in a single game, and sadly, I lost the footage of me earning it. But at the very least, the evidence is there. Me being that patient gamer that wants to do things accordingly, I decided to take a hiatus. Then, 5 months later, I got a text from one of my brothers. For context, he was doing a zombie Easter egg marathon with his military buddies and asked me if I wanted to join after one of them was absent for the day, and I unequivocally said yes. I took advantage of that opportunity, and so my next trophy was exactly that: complete the Shangri-La Easter egg.
Do we just hold square?
There it is.
I picked it up.
From there, my goal was to finish the multiplayer by reaching level 55, and unsurprisingly, it was time-consuming. Combined with the lack of double XP, made this mode feel like a chore. Sure, it was as fun as I remembered, but again, given the game's status at the time of this recording, some matches can be worse than others.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you actually kidding me? Yeah. I'm not surprised for a game that's almost 10 years old at this point.
Still, I pushed through, and eventually, I got my way.
Nice!
Nice. Now I can get out of here.
With the multiplayer out of the way, it was time for me to go back to the campaign. By myself. But before I can even get to the gameplay, this happened.
I was tasked with keeping an eye on the local operations. Since the wall went up.
Yeah. Once I resolved that and got right back in, the sense of dread was upon me, and I would soon find out why.
Explosives ain't doing shit! This armor's too tough! Clear them out! Double time! Hit them!
Man, I forgot how insidious realistic difficulty can be. In this mission, you're in Singapore trying to investigate a CIA black site that's being run by a gang known as the 54 Immortals. As you make your way to the level, you'll have to traverse through this strong storm that can push you back, fight more 54 Immortals along the way, and then reach into a room where we find agents that have been mutilated to death.
Oh no. That's not good.
Following that up, you infiltrate their headquarters disguised as an arm dealer to recover some stolen data. When the meeting goes south, one of the leaders of the 54 Immortals runs off in an attempt to upload CIA information to the web. And then the mission begins.
I hope you've located those data drives.
I thought you and Danny.
Activating assault.
May I remind you again that I have to beat this game on realistic difficulty? You need to have a serious amount of patience if you dare to go through this on your own, especially since you're gonna find yourself dealing with enemy types that can take more than the dozens of bullets to kill off. Eventually, you track her location and knock her out to prevent her from uploading said information to the server. Reinforcements start showing up, and you must defend your buddy Hendrix from completing the transfer. And it's here where I got the lock, stock, and then some trophy for unlocking all attachments on any weapon, which in my case is the BRM.
Job done.
Once you're done defending, you'll then find yourself going through these tree houses until you find a boat that leads to an exit, thus concluding the level.
You okay, Hendrix?
Yeah, never better.
After that, I couldn't imagine enduring the frustrations of having to play the rest of the missions by myself, and so I called my brother for backup, and he decided to help me out once and for all. This brings us to the 5th mission, Hyper Center, an abandoned Coalescence Corporation facility where the trophy, Into the Abyss, awaits you. Upon arrival, you have to make your way down to the bottom, and along the way, there's numerous rogue robots guarding the facility the more further you're reaching towards the objective. Speaking of which, you're there to investigate what happened to your former allies and their betrayal, which is the central plot that drives these missions moving forward. After clearing more rooms, this is where you find Diaz, one of your former teammates that you were introduced in the 1st and 2nd mission, but not before you have to deal with more of these rogue robots that are in your way. Once you take him out, you can tell that there's something off about him, and little did we know, he has already uploaded the CIA information to the safe house, compromising some operations from around the globe. Meanwhile, the 54IA leader who we knocked out in the previous mission caught wind of our investigation and decides to flood the facility. From there, we have to make our way back to the top where we barely made it out alive.
Grab it!
Every time you complete a mission, you're transported back to the safe house, your hub area of the game, where you're able to customize your loadout, try the training simulator, check your stats and accolades, and for my next trophy, fully upgrade my cybercore ability. So after our companion Kane's location has been exposed, this sets off the next mission in Singapore yet again, but now you're in a engulfed downtown area as you and your comrade had to fight through more of the 54 models that are surrounding the perimeter. Luckily, there are opportunities where you can take a stealth approach. However, because this was the first time my brother and I were playing it together, we inadvertently ended up going guns blazing. After reaching the last section and taking out every enemy by one, seriously, there's a handful of them in this area, we entered the safe house, took out more robots that stood in our way, and rescued Kane. Then the leader of the 54 Immortal was there, but she was no match. From there, I took another hiatus. Months have passed, and it's now 2025. I planned on 3 games during the first quarter. The Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, which I made a video on, It Takes Two, and Split Fiction. All of them were fun and broke up the monotony of being too hard. When my brother and I cleared Split Fiction, it was about time that we got back to where we left off and beat this campaign once and for all. The next mission is called Rise and Fall, which lands you in Egypt reunited with Lieutenant Khalil, the man you rescued in the first mission. This opening scene felt like a drag as you were essentially walking down through an unskippable cutscene that leads you into a room where you interrogate a doctor who knows about Corvus, a sentient artificial intelligence that serves as the main antagonist, something that I would come to learn near the end of the game. After you interrogate the doctor, the station becomes under attack. This is where you will encounter RAPs, these metallic tire spikes that can explode upon impact. Once the station is clear, this next section has you in an open area where you have to plant these spikes at certain spots to detonate the streets. Easily one of the most frustrating parts about this mission. The issue here is that you're leaving yourself out wide in the open when there's no room for cover because, again, may I remind you, all it takes is one shot for you to go down.
Right, I'm gonna run for run. Right. Adam, I'm behind this cover. I think you can get me. No! What the fuck? Oh man!
Oh, the little bomb.
Once you finally pass the section, the next thing you know is that you're in an alleyway fighting multiple NRC soldiers hiding behind covers. Then you throw into another open area to fend off against more forces and this ASP, followed by another one that you have to take out. I could have gotten the trophy maximum power for taking control on one of them, but I didn't realize it at the moment as my mind was so focused on wanting to finish this mission as soon as possible.
Holding position! That's the last of them.
The next mission is called The Demon Within, where we get the trophy Understanding Madness, and based on the subtext, I could sense that this was going to be somewhat doozy. We located Sarah Hall, another one of our former allies who we met in the second mission. Basically, it starts off as a mini boss fight where we had to take her down from controlling her cockpit. Once we do, we go up to her to access her DNI, and we found out that she and the rest of our former allies had been infected. The same team that we were introduced in the first 2 levels. Once you reach the next section, suddenly it gets bizarre because the rest of the mission has you fighting in World War II. Yeah. It's as if Treyarch would suddenly try to bait us with nostalgia by reminding us the good old days of what it was like playing World at War. If that wasn't enough, by the time you're reaching towards the end, you have to defend off against a small wave of zombies? What? Don't get me wrong, it was awesome seeing this in the campaign, but it just felt a bit odd to me in this case. I don't know, am I missing something? Just when I thought I was going to be burned alive, the flames reset and you end up putting Sarah to rest. Needless to say, this is one of the strangest missions in the game.
Let your mind relax. Imagine yourself in a frozen forest.
Sandcastle has your team along with the Egyptian army launch an assault on the drilling platform, where Taylor and Moretti are presumably hiding out. Along the way, I was killing dozens of enemy reinforcements from 100 meters away, which gets you the trophy, Crack Shot. This level has dogfights, a defend the area section, and...
This game is literally 11 years old. Still doing the campaign. Should be a fucking shame for yourself.
Shut up.
That nostalgia is...
There's like 10 new Call of Duty games after this.
Oh, facts.
Shit, are we that old yet?
After taking out some jets, protecting Khalil's men, and finding out Taylor Moretti's location, we race down the hangar and enter into a slow-mo sequence.
Oh, I mean, I didn't even do anything.
Oh,
How? I just got you. No, I did nothing.
Yo, that is crazy.
Come on.
That is crazy.
Then, after getting past that, we ran down through this tunnel hallway.
Oh my god.
What? Bro, where were they shooting at? Like,
And then we finally reached the last section where we find Moretti's hideout. Unfortunately, this is where bro decided to hop off.
I just came in to touch it.
I
love you guys.
love you,
I
brother.
saw y'all playing Black Ops, I was like, I'm gonna join them and fucking die 3 times.
That's fucked up.
Just
Yo, love you, bro. Alright, take care.
Alright, boys. Love you.
Bro, I love you, Elvin. I love you, bro.
Oh, man.
So of course this brings us back to my brother and I, where we had to activate these 3 generators while carefully evading his sniper as we move from one after the other. Just when we thought we was in the clear after taking out the remaining forces, this happened. With no other options, we had no choice but to restart the level from our last checkpoint. Once we got back, we moved accordingly as usual and unlocked that door to stop Moretti.
Drop it!
You killed him. Put him down like an animal. We've been doing wet work for more years than I can remember. You can't tell me that you're okay with this. Moretti was one of ours. So was Hall, and so was Diaz. So what, we gonna make it a clean sweep and kill Taylor next?
By the end, we found out that Taylor got away, which leads us to the second to last mission called Lotus Towers. Here, you're trying to track down Taylor while assisting the Egyptian army to take back their land against the NRC. Lots of verticality here, as you have to fight your way to the top. Throughout the mission, we see that Hendrix and you are slowly being infected from the DNI, foreshadowing what's to come. Eventually, you make it to the top of the tower and catch Taylor, which sets off another mini-boss battle where he's piloting the mothership. I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty tough, as my brother and I had to maneuver around swiftly to get a clear shot. Inevitably, we died a couple of times, but as we got the hang of it, my brother ended up getting the last shot.
Recall when she died, I know what she saw. I also know it wasn't real. Hey, you're not yourself. There's something inside you.
Unsurprisingly, Hendrix starts to act erratic as anticipated, which brings us to the final mission called Life, where we have to take him down before the DNI infection spreads any further. In my opinion, this level would have felt like an eternity if it wasn't for this one particular section. After getting past these initial group of enemies, we arrived outside the Zurich headquarters of the Coalescence. There are multiple robots scattered throughout this area that will swarm and constantly fire the rockets as you make your way into the building. It's chaotic, and having my brother alleviated this portion by a lot, because if I was doing this alone, opening this gate would have felt impossible since it's easy to get lit up before you can enter the building and say, "What the f?" At the very least, it only took us 4 tries. Once we're inside, fight a little bit more robots, we reach down into a lab that holds Nova 6, one of the few references that connects to the previous Black Ops games. Here, Kane sacrifices herself to stop the leak, and then finally you find Hendrix, who's interrogating Sebastian Kruger, the head of the Coalescence Corporation, and happens to be the creator of Corvus. It's about the Frozen Forest, which has been teased throughout the game by everyone who's been infected by the DNI, including our main protagonist. Thus, this is where it gets weird once again, as if the story wasn't bonkers enough. After his investigation, Hendrix murders him, and then you kill Hendrix. After realizing that you're the only one carrying the infection, I take my own life. This is where you are transported into the Frozen Forest, a neurological landscape that represents the afterlife, a simulation. And it's here where I learned that this thing, this entity, is Corvus, the very thing that's behind why you and your team were slowly being corrupted in the first place. It's a metaphor for the dangers of AI technology when it becomes unchecked.
Do you have any idea just how much technology has changed every single aspect of our daily lives? You can't begin to imagine the countless strains of research and development we had to watch over for the betterment and safety of the human race.
If that doesn't speak about the current status of our reality, then I don't know what does. Or maybe it's just me. Shortly not long after, Corvus decides to terminate Kruger, and you're reunited with Taylor, as according to him, he was the only one to resist against the infection, though at this point the story lost me. From here, you end up fighting through 2 more simulations, and then wind up back to the real world where you start a manual purge on the DNI and destroy Corvus once and for all.
Fight it! Fight it!
As a result, I slowly began to walk out of the building in a dreamlike state, wondering what's going on. As I make it to the exit, you're then confronted by Zura's special forces, to which one of them asks for your name.
Imagine yourself
What's your name, soldier?
in a frozen forest.
I said, what's your name?
Taylor.
And that's the ending. Even when I was trying to comprehend most of it, it was still confusing as shit. After the credits, I earned 3 trophies simultaneously, all of which revolved around completing the campaign.
Another side of the story. Hey, we beat the game. Full circle. No one will believe you. Complete the campaign on realistic. Yep. Unbelievable.
So, with 12 trophies that require you to finish the game on the hardest difficulty, you would think that the following challenges would be less insufferable in comparison. But man, if only that was the case. You need 12 decoration medals, and to earn them, you need to 100% all campaign challenges, which, as you can imagine, will take a lot of time, patience, and effort if you want this platinum. At this point, I already earned 3 medals, one for beating the campaign on realistic difficulty, the other on veteran since completing it on realistic counts, and the last for getting 2,000 kills, which can be attained naturally. This leads me to my second playthrough, where I decide to go for the Immortal Fame medal. This requires you to beat the campaign again, except now without dying on veteran, and unfortunately, I had to do this solo because I did not want to drag my brother into it after what we've been through on the realistic difficulty. Even though it was much more manageable, that doesn't mean I didn't have my moments.
Oh, fuck, man. Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, there is a trick where if you exit to the menu before you respawn back to your last checkpoint, you can avoid having to replay the level all over again so the medal can count. Each mission that you complete without dying rewards you with an accolade, and that's just one of them, which is another challenge in and of itself. While I was going through this playthrough, it also made sense that I would go get all the missing intels as well.
Better make it fast. We're already getting word that intel detailing precise weaknesses in our allied troop strength has been...
Move on that technical.
Okay.
Speaking of missing collectibles, it was also about time that I go over some of the miscellaneous trophies in no particular order. Curator for discovering all the collectibles. This was done after I completed my second playthrough since I somehow missed 2 of them in this mission. Once you collect all the intels, this also unlocks another decoration medal called the Chronicler. There's Decimator for killing 10 enemies in under 3 seconds. Foe to friend by hijacking a robot and killing 10 enemies with it. Anything non-friendly that is hackable counts. Biff Baff Kapow for killing 3 enemies in a melee combo. Doing camo right by unlocking all camos for any weapon in the campaign. Hold still for killing 6 enemies that are affected by 1 blinding swarm or firefly swarm.
Cargo elevator up ahead.
Gun game for killing 5 enemies with 5 different guns in under 30 seconds. Throwing flak for destroying 3 towns with a grenade. Rolling heavy by killing 5 enemies using 1 burst of unstoppable force. Sting like a talon for killing 20 enemies using that same talon. Inertial distance by wall running over 250 meters. In my opinion, this spot is perfect. Just keep wall running in circles until the trophy pops up. And lastly, the aforementioned maximum power for hijacking an ASP. Just play mission 7 until you reach the last section and start hacking that big robot. It is best to play on recruit difficulty when going for these trophies for obvious reasons. With the Immortal Fame medal obtained, inevitably I move on to my 3rd playthrough, but before doing so, I went ahead and purchased all the Cybercore abilities that earned me the Dedicated to Excellence medal. With 6 more to go, the Above and Beyond medal was my next choice. You have to earn these accolades, and there are 15 to 17 of them in each mission. Some are fairly simple, like killing the sets of enemies from far away or underwater while being undetected, because believe it or not, Many of them do require you to be stealthy. Some, however, seem a little ridiculous, like getting the double kill with a rocket launcher while in midair. Then there's this one where I had to hijack a RAPS, run 2 enemies with it, and then run into another RAPS. It sounds simple until you realize that this thing can explode fast once enemies start shooting it. Eventually, after many failed attempts, I move into the last section of this level, where I try my luck there.
Finally, a fair fight. Bring down that ASP.
Finally! Holy shit! Finally!
Although many can be done at ease, don't expect it to be less irritating. The next one I went for is the Tried and True Medal. This is where you have to score 35,000 points in the combat trading simulator, and it's also where you get the trophy for real this time. There are 16 waves, and each round increases the number of enemies than the last, the same ones that you have dealt with in the campaign, for better or worse. Considering that this can be played on any difficulty, it's not bad since all I need to do is to get headshots for that high score. Just keep your distance, and before you know it, you'll be done in no time. However, that was just a warm-up, because then I remembered you also had to play it on realistic. So without wasting any more time, I jump straight ahead. It seems doable. So far, so good. What can possibly go wrong? Oh boy. Here's the thing. There are no checkpoints whatsoever. Nada. Zero. So if you happen to be in the last round and screwed up, you have to start from the beginning all over again.
Oh, what? Come on, there was another one? Oh, shit. No! Oh man, at least I got the Chaos Core Mastery. Damn. What? No! Fuck, man! One more. I could pass this then. I'm good. Alright.
Given that I made it this far, what do you think would happen next? Yep, that was the only time that I got as far as I did. And for some reason, my capture card didn't record the experience. At this point, I died over 50 times doing this shit. And because this mode had my blood boiling to my breaking point, I decided to take the cheesy route. Of course, I'm talking about the glitch that bypasses this challenge. I'm sorry folks, but I had to. The fact that Treyarch hasn't patched it a decade later suggests that maybe they knew how absurd this challenge really is. I also heard there are reports of players who have a hard time unlocking the reward because the game decided to bug on them for whatever reason. If that's the case, then this glitch feels justified. With that out of the way, armament superiority became obvious since I had enough fabrication kits. In case you didn't know, it's a form of currency that you get from completing missions and challenges from the aforementioned accolades. Once you purchase all weapons, lethals, tacticals, and cyber combat abilities, you'll earn the medal. This was followed up by my next trophy,
Silverback in Black,
where if you access Dead Ops Arcade through the data vault, the trophy will pop up as the game starts. It's a good thing that this is the only trophy that Dead Ops has because otherwise it would have been overkill. Oh, believe me, it would have been. This segues to my last 3 decorations, one of which is perhaps one of the grindiest endeavors that I've ever played in a Call of Duty game. In order to complete this challenge, you have to unlock all the camos for every gun in the game, and I mean every single gun. There are 31 weapons, and each primary requires you to get 650 kills for each gun. 7 assault rifles, 6 machine guns, 4 shotguns, 4 light machine guns, and 4 snipers. Multiply each category by 650 and then add them all together, you end up with 16,200 kills. And then you have the secondaries. 3 pistols for 150 kills each, 2 rocket launchers for 300 kills each, and lastly, 2 specialists, 300 kills for the War Machine and 150 kills for the Annihilator. That's another 2,050 kills to the count. So when you combine those numbers all together, you're looking at 18,250 kills grand total.
Wow, that's a ton of—
No shit, Sherlock! Not only is it incredibly tedious, but it's also mentally draining as more often than not, I find myself having to note down which ones I'm missing so I can move on to the next. There are 2 missions where you can easily farm kills, Mission 7 and the last mission. Both have areas where there's infinite spawning enemies that will continue on and on until you decide to move on to your next checkpoint, which is exactly what you want to do after you accumulate enough kills. Take it slow as you're working with 1 or 2 guns at a time because if you die while doing so, you will lose your progress. So please make sure you trigger the checkpoint when you think you're done. It's also a good idea to simultaneously work on your cyber call abilities for the duty calls decoration, as they're part of unlocking calling cards for the campaign challenges. After a while, I find that the last mission is the best option for me, mainly because you can take your time by hiding in the spot and the fact that there's infinite arrow zones since this rocket launcher can only be fired when you lock on. You'll be spending hours upon hours going through each weapon hoping to not get tired of it. I'm telling you, this is going to test your patience, and if you're not willing to go all in, I don't blame you. Now, all that's really left is duty calls, and once it's unlocked, so does the full honor decoration. For many, this would have been a dead end because of the aforementioned realistic difficulty on the combat training simulator. Thankfully, I already did most of the cybercore challenges at this point. All I was really missing was 2 more calling cards, and so I went to replay Mission 7 one last time so I can finally end this grind.
Not from here. I'm falling back to the safe house.
Personal decorator. Nice. Got it. Finally. And there you have it. All the decorations. Finally.
Now that leaves us with one last mode, zombies. As a launch map, Shadows of Evil isn't exactly what I would call the beginner's type, but its sound design and unique 1940s aesthetic is absolutely intriguing. Despite its complex structure, luckily you don't have to do the main Easter egg to get the platinum, which means that I'm left with trophies that should feel fairly decent to navigate alone. Starting with From the Shadows, for spotting the Shadow Man 5 times in one game, though honestly, this can be done naturally without you needing to actually spot him. Admittedly, this map felt brand new to me after not playing it for quite a while, and as a result, my first playthrough was embarrassing to say the least. Nevertheless, I tried again, and they all started to come back to me. After remembering the locations of the collectibles from each district, I conducted my third ritual, completed, and as I was exiting the area,
oh, you look beautiful. It gets tiresome after a while.
Then, not long after, I went to do my last ritual, and completing all 4 of them earns you the trophy, The Beginning of the End. Because the rounds were starting to ramp up a bit, I figured it was best for me to restart a new game so I could clear the remaining trophies much easier. Such as the case with The Sorry We're Dead, for killing 10 zombies that are inside of a store in one game. Believe me, the earlier, the better. Another instance, Margwar Party, where you have to kill 2 Margwars in a single round. This tentacle monster hits harder than the regular zombies, so I can't imagine going for this trophy at a higher round. Usually they first spawn at round 8, and what you want to do is save a zombie or 2 and go to this location, if you haven't done the ritual. Do it, and after you finish, another one will always spawn every time you do a new game, as long as you remember that you killed that first one in the same round. Since I was already getting familiarized at this point, there's also 3 parts that you have to pick up to build a rocket shield. Knocking 10 zombies or more after charging them in one burst has a bowling reference that also happens to give you a trophy.
You got a lot of nerve, creep.
Widow's Wine is a new perk that was introduced in this game. It replaces your regular grenades with spiderweb sticker grenades that also acts as a defense mechanism, and killing 10 zombies that are affected by it earns you the spider and the fly.
You're done, my friend.
Spider.
By the time I reached round 20, the parasites started spawning in, and this was my opportunity to get that parasite scene trophy. Just kill 5 of them while riding on this train. After that, I went for the Beat Cops trophy. Similar to the rocket shield, there are 3 parts that you have to pick up that are hidden from the same districts, which in this case are these small blue fuses. Once you collect them, you teleport or go down to the metro, turn on the power, and then spawn the protector in each of the 4 districts. While the setup wasn't bad, actually spawning them can cost 2,000 points, meaning that I would need 8k to complete this challenge. It didn't help that the zombies were getting a little more aggressive since I was in a higher round. Assuming the protector is already there while you're fighting them, luckily he can revive you just when I thought it was over for me. Still, after surviving 2 more rounds and accumulating enough points, I did it. Now, all that's left is to chew every type of gobble gum that is in my pack. Once I died by round 28, it was time for me to start a new game one more time. From there, all I needed to do is go up to this vending machine and use all my gobble gums that I stored.
This isn't regular gum. What makes you feel different? Don't you dare lay a hand on me! Yes, I would like some candy.
Finally, right? Now you're probably thinking, what about the DLC trophies? After all, I did get 5 of them, so what gives? Well, I don't own the other maps, and that's something that I want to do if my bros are on board, depending on their availability. If not, then I'll have to figure something out for another time.
So, was it worth it?
Even after all that, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is easily one of the hardest Call of Duty Platinums that I've ever done by far. To think that I would go back and attempt to achieve it like it's 2015 again is insane. The multiplayer alone could have prevented me from getting this, given that it was barely playable at the time of this recording. The gameplay and its mechanics was as fun as I remembered, that familiar formula while toning down the movement system that Advanced Warfare introduced. Same goes for the zombies, thanks to a solid foundation that continues to build up from the previous entries. While engaging for sure, getting the trophies can be a bit overwhelming to navigate for a map like this, especially if you're a first timer that's playing solo. And the campaign? Heh, don't even get me started. The requirements that you have to undertake can range from extremely hard to super exhausting. It is unlike anything that Call of Duty has provided for me, and that is saying a whole lot. It is not fun to trust you, and at best, it's mediocre. In my opinion, this is Call of Duty's Force Mile High Club, but 10 times more challenging than it is. For more Platinum content, stay tuned. Until then, may peace be with you. Thanks for watching.